I'm refilling champagne glasses when I hear my name in his voice for the first time in 20 years. And the world fractures. Not because Alessio Rossi just announced our engagement to a ballroom full of Mafia elite, though that's insane enough, but because I didn't know a voice could feel like a hand around my throat. He's never spoken to me, not once. Not when I was the maid's daughter scrubbing his floors. Not when I passed him in hallways for 2 decades. And now his first words to me are a claim of ownership, spoken while I'm holding a tray of drinks in a servant's uniform. The crystal flute in my hand trembles. I am pleased to announce my engagement to Gemma. The pause before my name is deliberate, a blade sliding between ribs, slow enough to feel every inch of the cut. This isn't happening. But the ballroom has gone silent. That terrible, anticipatory silence that comes before violence or revelation. And every face is turning, searching for the girl foolish enough to be engaged to the shadow. I don't move, can't move. The champagne bottle is slick in my palm. Condensation or sweat, I can't tell. My uniform, black dress, white apron, the invisible costume of the help, suddenly feels obscene. A servant. He just claimed a servant. No, he claimed me. The distinction matters, though I don't yet understand why. My mother is across the room, frozen mid-step with a tray of canapés. Her face has gone white. She knows what I'm only beginning to grasp. Alessio Rossi does nothing without calculation. Every silence, every word, every breath is a chess move played 3 games ahead. And I'm apparently the queen he just put in play. Gemma. He says it again, and this time it's not an announcement. It's a summons. Look at me. I don't want to. God, I don't want to. Because I've spent 20 years perfecting the art of not looking at Alessio Rossi. Not when he walks into a room and the air changes. Not when his presence, that silent, suffocating presence, fills every corner of the estate like smoke. Not when I've felt his gaze on me, heavy and unreadable, in 1,000 moments I've taught myself to forget. But my body is a traitor. My eyes lift, travel across the sea of designer gowns and predatory smiles, past the Morelli family's stunned faces, up the dais where he stands at the microphone. And finally, I look at Alessio Rossi. He's already looking at me. Of course he is. The impact of his gaze is physical. It hits me like a fist to the sternum, knocking the air from my lungs. 20 years of not looking, of trained invisibility, of existing in the spaces between his attention, all of it shatters against the dark, absolute focus in his eyes. He's not handsome. Handsome is too soft a word for the brutal architecture of his face. Sharp jaw, Roman nose, the kind of bone structure that looks carved from marble by an angry god. His suit is black, perfectly tailored, making him look less like a man and more like a weapon sheathed in Italian wool. But it's his eyes that destroy me, dark, fathomless, and utterly, terrifyingly calm. He planned this. The realization arrives with sickening clarity. This isn't impulse. This isn't strategy gone wrong. This is exactly what he wanted. Me, caught in the open, unable to run, while he speaks my name like an incantation that binds. The champagne bottle slips. I catch it before it falls, but the movement draws attention, a ripple of whispers spreading through the crowd. Someone laughs, nervous and shrill. I hear the words, "The maid's daughter, charity case." What is he thinking? Alessio's gaze doesn't waver, doesn't acknowledge them, doesn't acknowledge anything except me. He steps down from the dais. No. He's moving through the crowd, and they part for him like the Red Sea. Instinct and fear creating a path. His movements are unhurried, graceful, the lethal fluidity of a predator who knows the prey has nowhere to run. Run, anyway. But I'm rooted in place, the champagne bottle clutched to my chest like a shield, my pulse a war drum in my ears. He's 20 feet away, 15, 10. Move, Gemma. Move. I can't. Because I'm caught in the gravitational pull of him. The same pull I've been running from my entire life. The same pull I felt as a child when I'd glimpse him in doorways, silent, watching, and feel something I had no name for. The same pull I've denied and buried and refused to acknowledge. Because Alessio Rossi is untouchable, unknowable, and I am nothing. 5 feet. I can smell him now. Cedar and gunpowder and something darker. something that makes my stomach clench with an emotion I refuse to name. 3 feet. God, he's tall. I forgot how tall. Or maybe I never let myself notice. He towers over me, broad-shouldered and immovable, and every cell in my body is screaming contradictions. Run, stay, fight, submit. He stops directly in front of me. Up close, I can see details I've never allowed myself to catalog. The faint scar through his left eyebrow, the cruel curve of his mouth. The way his dark hair is pushed back, revealing the sharp lines of his face. He's 38, I'm 28. For 20 years we've existed in the same house, breathing the same air, and I've never been this close. I should feel afraid. I do feel afraid. But underneath the fear is something worse. A traitorous heat that starts low in my belly and spreads like poison. No, absolutely not. Gemma. His voice is low, meant only for me. It's the 3rd time he said my name, and each iteration feels like a brand. You're going to put down the champagne. It's not a request. My fingers tighten on the bottle. Don't tell me what to do. The defiance rises sharp and sudden. A lifetime of biting my tongue finally finding teeth. I'm working, I hear myself say. My voice sounds foreign, too steady. Sir, the honorific is a weapon. A reminder of the distance between us, the roles we play. You are the master, I am the help. This is insane. Something flickers in his eyes. Amusement. Anger. It's gone too quickly to name. You were working, he corrects, and reaches out. His hand closes over mine on the bottle. The touch is electric, shocking. His skin is warm, his grip firm but not painful. And every nerve ending where we connect lights up like a live wire. I gasp. An involuntary damning sound. And his fingers tighten fractionally. He heard that. Of course he did. Alessio Rossi misses nothing. He takes the champagne from my nerveless fingers, sets it on a nearby table without looking away from me. Then his hand returns, but this time it finds my elbow. Proprietary, possessive. We need to talk, he says quietly. Now. I start, but he's already moving. Already guiding me through the crowd with the inexorable force of a tide. I could resist, could make a scene, could scream. But you won't. Because some animal part of my brain recognizes the futility. Alessio Rossi has decided, and the universe bends accordingly. We pass my mother. She reaches out, an aborted movement, her eyes pleading, but Alessio's gaze cuts to her for one brief, annihilating second, and she freezes, steps back, lets him take me. She's afraid of him. Everyone is afraid of him. I should be afraid of him. I am. I'm terrified. So why is my skin burning where his hand grips my arm? Why is my heart racing for reasons that have nothing to do with fear and everything to do with the sandalwood heat of him beside me? The controlled power in every step, the way his thumb is tracing, barely, almost imperceptibly, circles on the inside of my elbow. Stop it. Stop feeling this. He leads me through a side door, down a corridor I know well, I've cleaned it 100 times, and into his private study. The door clicks shut behind us, and the sudden quiet is deafening. I yank my arm free. The absence of his touch is a shock. I stumble back, putting distance between us, my breath coming too fast. What the hell was that? I demand, and I barely recognize my own voice. It's shaking. I'm shaking. Alessio doesn't answer immediately. He moves to the bar cart, pours 2 fingers of whiskey with the same measured precision he does everything. The silence stretches, familiar and suffocating. Of course, back to silence, back to pretending I don't exist. But then he turns, glass in hand, and looks at me, really looks at me. And I realize with creeping horror that he's never pretended I don't exist. The opposite. His silence was never absence. It was focus. The Morellis are a problem, he says finally, his voice even, controlled. And that boy does not touch what is mine. The words land like slaps. That boy, Liam, my boyfriend, sweet, normal, safe Liam, who goes to my university and makes me laugh and represents everything good and uncomplicated that exists outside these walls. What is mine? I'm not yours, I breathe. But even as I say it, I feel the lie. Because I've been his since the moment I stepped into this house as a child. His to ignore, his to watch, his shadow to live in. And now, apparently, his to claim. Alessio takes a slow sip of whiskey, his eyes never leaving mine. You've been mine since you were 8 years old, Gemma. I'm simply making it official. The casual certainty in his voice makes my blood run cold. And hot. God, why is it hot in here? I have a boyfriend, I say, grasping for something, anything solid. I have a life, school, plans. You can't just... I can. He sets down the glass with a soft click. I did. Why? The question rips out of me, raw and desperate. For 20 years you've never said a word to me. Why now? Why this? He moves toward me and I back up until my spine hits the bookshelf. Trapped. But he doesn't stop until he's close enough that I have to tilt my head back to meet his eyes. Close enough that I can feel the heat radiating off his body. Because, he says, low and deliberate, I heard him laugh. I blink. What? 3 nights ago, I was in my study, and I heard a man's laughter in my garden. His hand comes up, and I flinch, but he only braces it against the shelf beside my head, caging me in. I looked out the window and saw him, touching you, kissing you, in my home. Oh God. And I realized, he continues, his voice dropping to something dark and dangerous, that my silence was no longer protection. It was a prison, so I broke it. His other hand rises, and this time I can't move as his fingers brush my jaw. Featherlight. Reverent. My body ignites. Don't, I whisper, but I'm not sure if I'm talking to him or to myself. I know the sound of your footsteps on marble, Alessio murmurs, his thumb tracing the line of my cheekbone. I know you read in the garden at dawn. I know you're afraid of thunderstorms. I know you... Stop. My hands come up, pressing against his chest to push him away, but the moment I touch him, I freeze. His heart is racing. Beneath the expensive fabric, beneath the controlled exterior, Alessio Rossi's heart is pounding as hard as mine. He feels this too. The realization is devastating. His hand slides into my hair, tilting my face up, and for one heart-stopping moment, I think he's going to kiss me. I think I'm going to let him. I think I might die if he doesn't, but he doesn't. Instead, he leans in until his lips brush my ear and whispers, "You can hate me, Gemma. You can fight me, but you will marry me." And that boy. His fingers tighten in my hair, just enough to sting. He's already gone. Then he releases me and steps back, leaving me gasping against the bookshelf, my knees weak and my mind reeling. Your mother will help you pack, he says. His voice returned to that terrible, empty calm. You'll move into the East Wing tomorrow. The wedding is in 3 weeks. You're insane, I manage, but it comes out broken. Perhaps. He straightens his cuffs, every inch the composed Don once more. But you're still mine. He walks to the door, opens it, pauses. Gemma? I can't speak, can't breathe. The next time you wear that uniform, he says without turning around, will be the last. Then he's gone, and I'm alone in his study, shaking and furious and aroused and terrified, with the ghost of his touch burning on my skin and one question screaming through my mind. How long has he been watching me? And worse, how long have I been hoping he would? I don't sleep. How can I, when my entire world has been ripped apart and reassembled into something unrecognizable? I lie in my narrow bed in the servants' quarters, the room I've occupied since childhood, and stare at the ceiling, replaying every second of the gala, his voice saying my name, his hand in my hair, his heart racing under my palm. At 3 a.m., I give up and check my phone. 17 missed calls from Liam. A dozen texts that start worried and end desperate. Liam. Gemma. What the fuck, Liam? Call me Liam. This is insane, you can't actually Liam. Please, baby, just talk to me. The last one came through an hour ago. Liam. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm so sorry. My hands shake as I dial his number. It rings once, twice. The number you have reached is no longer in service. No. I try again. Same message. He's already gone. Alessio's words echo in my mind, and I taste bile. What did he do? What did he threaten? I'm still clutching the phone when my mother slips into my room, her face drawn and exhausted. Gemma, she whispers, perching on the edge of my bed. We need to talk. Did you know? The question comes out sharper than I intend. Did you know he was going to do this? No. She takes my hand, squeezes. But I'm not surprised. What? What are you talking about? My mother's smile is sad, knowing. Darling, I've worked in this house for 20 years. I've watched that man watch you for just as long. The room tilts. That's not, he never spoke to you, she corrects gently. But he was always aware of you, where you were, who you were with. When you came home late from university, he'd pace his study until he heard your car. When you were sick last winter, he had his personal physician sent to our quarters. Did you think that was my doing? No, this isn't real. Why didn't you tell me? My voice breaks. Because you were safe in your ignorance, she says. And there's an old pain in her eyes. The Rossi men are intense, possessive. Alessio's father was the same with his mother. I thought if you never knew, if he never acted on it, you could have a normal life. But then you brought that boy here and Liam. I pull my hand away. His name is Liam, and now he's gone because of that monster. Yes, my mother doesn't flinch. He is. And you need to understand something, Gemma. Alessio Rossi has just made you the most powerful woman in this organization. You're not a maid's daughter anymore. You're his. I don't want to be his. Liar. The treacherous thought slithers through my mind, and I hate it. Hate myself for the part of me that felt alive when he touched me, when he said my name, when he looked at me like I was the only person in the world. What you want, my mother says softly, stopped mattering the moment he decided you were his. The only question now is, will you survive it? The move happens at dawn. I'm given no choice in the matter. By the time I wake, having finally fallen into fitful sleep near sunrise, 3 women in crisp black dresses are already packing my meager belongings. Signore Rossi's orders, one says, with a polite smile that doesn't reach her eyes. The East Wing. I've cleaned it before, but never entered the master suite. It's reserved for the Don and his family, a space I've walked past hundreds of times without daring to look too closely. Now, apparently, it's mine. The room they lead me to is obscene in its luxury. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the gardens. A bed big enough for 4 people, draped in charcoal silk. An ensuite bathroom done in black marble and gold fixtures. A walk-in closet that's already filled with clothes I've never seen. Designer labels, my exact size. He planned this. Of course he did. Signore Rossi requests your presence for breakfast in 20 minutes, one of the women says. He selected an outfit for you. She gestures to the bed, where a dress is laid out. Cream-colored, elegant, expensive. The kind of thing I've only ever seen on the women who visit this house, never on the women who serve in it. Tell him I'm not hungry, I say. The woman's smile tightens. He was insistent. I'm sure he was, but I'm insistent too. I said no. They leave, whispering among themselves, and I collapse onto the edge of the obscene bed, my head in my hands. This is my life now. 3 weeks until a wedding I never agreed to. 3 weeks in this gilded cage, with a man who has apparently been obsessed with me for 2 decades, while never saying a word. How long has he been watching me? The question haunts me. I think of all the moments I thought I was alone, all the times I felt eyes on me and dismissed it as paranoia, all the years of his silence that I interpreted as indifference. I was so wrong. A knock at the door makes me jump. Gemma, his voice, through the wood, low and commanding. Open the door. No. I'm not dressed, I call back, which is true. I'm still in my pajamas, an old t-shirt and sleep shorts that suddenly feel far too revealing. Silence. Then, I've given you 20 minutes. You've used 18 of them refusing to comply. Open the door or I'll open it myself. He wouldn't dare. The lock clicks. He would absolutely dare. The door swings open and Alessio steps inside like he owns the place, which technically he does. But the casual invasion of privacy makes my blood boil. Get out, I snap, standing. This is my room. No. He closes the door behind him with a soft click. This is my wing, my house, my estate. And as of 3 days from now, everything in it, including you, will be legally mine. He's in a crisp white shirt, sleeves rolled to his elbows, exposing forearms that are frankly criminal. Dark slacks, no tie. He looks domestic. If domestic could be used to describe a man who radiates danger like a nuclear reactor. Don't look at his arms. Don't. The wedding is in 3 weeks, I correct, crossing my arms over my chest. You said 3 weeks. I moved it up. He moves further into the room, studying it with a critical eye. The Morellis are becoming agitated. Better to cement the alliance quickly. This isn't an alliance, I spit. This is a kidnapping. His gaze cuts to me, sharp and dark. You're not restrained. You're not locked in. You're free to leave any time you like. I stare at him. You're joking. I never joke. He moves to the window, looking out at the gardens. Walk out the front door right now, Gemma. I won't stop you. This is a trap. It has to be. But something in his posture, the tension in his shoulders, the way his hands are clasped behind his back, makes me hesitate. What's the catch? I ask. No catch. He still doesn't look at me. But you should know, your mother's medical bills are being paid by the estate. Her housing, her salary, her health care. Walk out that door and it all disappears. The breath leaves my lungs. No. He wouldn't. You're blackmailing me. I'm stating facts. Now he turns, and his expression is unreadable. Your mother has been loyal to this family for 20 years. I've been generous in return. That generosity continues, as long as you're here. Rage fills me, hot and blinding. I cross the room in 3 strides, getting right in his face, or as close as I can, given the height difference. You bastard. Yes, he agrees calmly. But I'm your bastard now. I hate you. I know. His eyes drop to my mouth, and my pulse spikes. Wear the dress, Gemma. Have breakfast with me. Learn to play the part you've been given. Or leave and live with the consequences. He's so close. Close enough that I can see the individual threads of silver in his dark hair, the faint stubble on his jaw, the way his pupils dilate as he looks at me. He wants to touch me. I can feel it. The restraint vibrating through him like a live wire. His hands are still at his sides, but they're clenched into fists. And I realize with a shock that he's fighting himself, fighting the urge to touch me. The power of that realization is intoxicating. What happens if I wear the dress, I whisper, and I hate how breathless I sound. Something dangerous flashes in his eyes. Then we have breakfast, and you learn what it means to be mine. I'll never be yours. You already are. His hand comes up slowly, giving me time to move away, and cups my face. His palm is warm, slightly rough, and my traitorous body leans into the touch. You just haven't accepted it yet. His thumb traces my lower lip, and I stop breathing. Kiss me. The thought comes unbidden, unwanted, undeniable. I want him to close the distance. Want to know if his mouth tastes like the danger he promises. Want to feel something other than this maddening, aching tension. But he doesn't. Instead, he drops his hand and steps back, leaving me cold and furious and aching. 30 minutes, he says. Wear the dress. Then he's gone, and I'm left trembling and wet and hating myself for both. I wear the dress. I tell myself it's for my mother, for practicality, for survival. But when I look in the mirror and see how the cream fabric hugs my curves, how it makes my dark hair look richer and my skin glow, I know the truth. I want him to see me like this. The thought makes me sick. Breakfast is served on the terrace, a spread of fresh fruit, pastries, eggs, coffee. Alessio is already seated, reading something on his tablet. And he doesn't look up when I approach. But I see it, the slight tensing of his jaw, the way his fingers tighten on the tablet's edge, the measured breath he takes. He notices. I sit across from him, spine straight, and pour myself coffee with hands that only shake a little. Better, he says quietly, still not looking up. I'm not doing this for you. I know. Now he sets down the tablet and meets my eyes. You're doing it for her. That's the only reason I knew you would. The casual accuracy of the statement is unsettling. You don't know me, don't I? He leans back in his chair, studying me with that unnerving intensity. You take your coffee black, 2 sugars, you're left-handed, but force yourself to write with your right, because your 3rd-grade teacher said it was improper. You have a scar on your right knee from falling in the rose garden when you were 9. You're terrified of thunderstorms because of the night your father left. You associate the sound with loss. Each word is a violation, an invasion. How does he know these things? You bite your lip when you're anxious, he continues, his voice soft and relentless. You hum when you think no one is listening. You read romance novels and hide them under your mattress. You... Stop. My hands are shaking. Stop it. Why? He tilts his head. You wanted to know why now, Gemma. This is why. Because I have spent 20 years learning every detail of your existence. And 3 nights ago, I watched another man touch what I've been patient enough to wait for. My patience ran out. Oh God. That's not love, I breathe. That's obsession. Yes. He doesn't even blink. It is. The confession hangs between us, terrible and honest. You're sick. Probably. He picks up his coffee, takes a sip. Marry me anyway. I can't. You will. The certainty in his voice makes me want to scream, or cry, or throw something at his perfect, controlled face. Instead, I stand. I need air. Sit down. No. I turn to leave, but his hand shoots out, catching my wrist. The contact is electric, sending sparks up my arm. Please? The word sounds foreign in his mouth, like he's not used to asking for anything. Sit. Finish breakfast, and then I'll give you space. The please undoes me more than any command could. I sit. We eat in silence, the kind of silence I'm used to with him. But now it's different. Charged. Every clink of silverware, every breath, feels loaded with meaning. I have to attend a meeting, he says finally, standing. You're free to explore the estate, but Gemma, I look up. Don't leave the grounds. The Morellis are unhappy about my announcement. Until the wedding, you're a target. A target. I thought this was about an alliance. It is. His smile is cold. Which is why they want you dead. Can't have an alliance if there's no bride. He says it so casually, like he's commenting on the weather. You're using me as bait, I realize. No. He moves behind my chair, and I feel his hand settle on my shoulder. I'm protecting what's mine. There's a difference. His fingers trail across my collarbone, just once, barely a touch. And then he's walking away, leaving me gasping and confused and so angry. At him, at myself. At the way my skin is burning where he touched me, and I'm already craving more. I spend the day exploring. The estate is massive. 20 acres of manicured gardens, a pool, a tennis court, and a greenhouse I've never seen before. I wander through it all, trying to outrun my thoughts. It doesn't work. Everywhere I look, I see evidence of him. His control, his power, the staff who nod respectfully, the security cameras that track my every move, the silent, ever-present awareness that I'm in Alessio Rossi's world now. And the rules have changed. I end up in the library, a room I've cleaned but never used. It's 2 stories of floor-to-ceiling books, leather chairs, and the smell of old paper. Peaceful, safe. I'm reaching for a book when I see it. A leather journal, hidden behind a row of law texts. I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't. I pull it out anyway. The first page stops my heart. Gemma. Age 8. First day. It's his handwriting. I've seen it on documents, orders, notes to staff. But this is different. Personal. She's so small. Afraid. She hid behind her mother's skirt when father introduced them. Dark eyes. Too serious for a child. I wanted to tell her it would be okay. I couldn't. Father's rules. I flip forward. Pages and pages of entries. Dated. Detailed. Age 10. She fell in the garden, scraped her knee, didn't cry. I watched from the window, wanted to help, couldn't. Age 14. First day of high school. She wore a blue dress, smiled at everyone except me. Age 18. University acceptance letter. She jumped when she read it. Pure joy. I've never seen her that happy. Age 22. First boyfriend. I broke his arm. She never knew it was me. My hands are shaking so badly I nearly dropped the journal. This isn't just observation. This is documentation. A record of my entire life through his eyes. He's been obsessed with me since I was a child. The thought should terrify me. It does terrify me, but underneath the terror is something else. Something I don't want to name. He's been watching me, protecting me, wanting me for 20 years. You weren't supposed to find that. I spin around. Alessio stands in the doorway, perfectly still, his expression unreadable. How long? My voice is barely a whisper. How long have you... Since the beginning. He steps into the room, closing the door behind him. Since the moment you walked into this house, I was 8. I was 18. His jaw tightens. And I didn't understand what I felt. Just that you were important, essential. Mine to protect. That's not normal. No, he agrees. It's not. He's closer now, moving with that predatory grace that makes my pulse spike. You're sick, I say again, but it sounds weaker this time. Yes. You've been stalking me for 20 years. Yes. You destroyed my relationship. Yes. You're forcing me to marry you. Yes. He stops directly in front of me, so close I can feel the heat of him. And you're going to let me, because some part of you wants this just as much as I do. You're delusional. Am I? His hand comes up, fingers threading through my hair. Then why haven't you run? Why haven't you screamed? Why are you standing here, looking at me like you want me to devour you? I'm not, but I am. God help me, I am. I hate you, I breathe. I know. His other hand finds my waist, pulling me against him. Hate me tomorrow, hate me after, but right now, stop lying to both of us. And then his mouth is on mine. The kiss is not gentle. It's possession, pure and simple. His lips claim mine with a hunger that steals my breath. His hand fisting in my hair to angle my head exactly how he wants it. I should fight, should push him away. Instead, I kiss him back. My hands find his shirt, fisting in the fabric, and I pour 20 years of confusion and anger and unwanted desire into the kiss. He tastes like coffee and danger and something uniquely him, and I'm drowning in it. His tongue traces the seam of my lips, demanding entry, and I open for him. The first touch of his tongue against mine sends electricity racing down my spine. I hear myself make a sound, desperate, needy, and he swallows it, deepening the kiss until I can't tell where I end and he begins. We stumble backward. My back hits the bookshelf, and he presses against me, all hard muscle and controlled power. I can feel every inch of him, the broad chest, the narrow hips, the unmistakable evidence of his arousal against my stomach. He wants me. The knowledge is power and surrender all at once. His mouth leaves mine, trailing down my jaw to my neck, and I gasp when he finds the sensitive spot below my ear. His teeth graze the skin, and my knees buckle. Alessio, I breathe, and his name in my mouth seems to break something in him. He groans, an actual guttural sound, and his hands are everywhere, sliding down my sides, gripping my hips, pulling me harder against him. The dress I wore for him is suddenly a barrier I want gone. Tell me to stop, he rasps against my throat. Tell me to stop, Gemma, or I won't. Don't stop. But some shred of sanity, some last piece of self-preservation, makes me press my hands against his chest. Wait, I gasp. Wait, we can't. He stops immediately, but doesn't pull away. His forehead drops to mine, his breathing ragged. Why? The word is torture. Because I can't think, can't breathe. Because I need to understand this, understand you, before I surrender completely. He pulls back just enough to look at me, and the raw need in his eyes makes me ache. What do you want to understand? His thumb traces my swollen lower lip. That I've wanted you since before I understood what wanting meant? That every woman I've ever touched was practice, preparation for you? That I would burn this entire world down if it meant keeping you safe? Each word is a confession, a claim. I want to understand, I whisper, how I'm supposed to hate you when you look at me like that. His smile is dark, victorious. You're not, he says simply. That's the point. And then he's kissing me again, softer this time, like he's savoring it. My hands slide up his chest, around his neck, and I let myself have this, just this, one kiss. But we both know it's a lie. This isn't one kiss. This is the beginning of my surrender. When he finally pulls away, we're both breathing hard. His hand cups my face, and the tenderness in the gesture undoes me more than the passion did. 3 days, he says quietly. In 3 days, you'll be my wife. And then, Gemma? Then I'll show you exactly what it means to be mine. It's a promise. A threat. I should be afraid. Instead, I'm counting down the hours. The wedding happens in a chapel on the estate. I thought I'd have more time, more space to think, to process, to understand what I'm feeling. But Alessio moves like a force of nature, swift, unstoppable, inevitable. 3 days pass in a blur of fittings, paperwork, and stolen moments that leave me more confused than ever. He doesn't kiss me again, doesn't touch me beyond the necessary, a hand at my back, fingers grazing mine when he hands me things. But his eyes never leave me. That dark, consuming gaze follows me everywhere, and I feel it like a physical touch. He's waiting. For what, I'm not sure. Permission, surrender, the wedding night? God, the wedding night. The thought sends equal parts terror and anticipation through me, because despite everything, the manipulation, the obsession, the control, my body knows what it wants, and it wants him. Now I stand in front of a mirror in the bridal suite, and I barely recognize myself. The dress is ivory silk, simple but devastating. It clings to every curve before flowing to the floor in a waterfall of fabric. My dark hair is swept up, exposing my neck and shoulders. I look beautiful, powerful, like a woman who chose this, but I didn't. Did I? You could have left, a voice whispers. You didn't. You look perfect, darling. My mother's voice is thick with emotion. She adjusts my veil with shaking hands. He'll be speechless. He's always speechless, I mutter. That's kind of his thing. She laughs, but it's strained. Gemma, I need to tell you something about tonight. My cheeks heat. Mom, I really don't need, not that. She takes my hands. Her expression serious. About him, about Alessio. I wait. The Rossi men. They love with a violence that terrifies most people. His father was the same with his mother. Possessive, obsessive, but also devoted, protective. She squeezes my hands. What I'm saying is, he will consume you if you let him. But if you can match that fire, if you can stand your ground, you'll be the most cherished woman alive. Cherished. Is that what this is? This dark, twisted thing between us? What if I can't, I whisper. What if I'm not strong enough? You are, she pulls me into a hug. You're my daughter, you're stronger than you know. A knock at the door makes us both jump. It's time, a voice calls. Time to walk down an aisle. Time to promise myself to a man who's been obsessed with me for 20 years. Time to become Mrs. Alessio Rossi. Time to surrender. The chapel is small, intimate, maybe 30 people, family members, high-ranking members of the organization, and a priest who looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. I don't blame him. My mother walks me down the aisle. There's no father to give me away, and the symbolism isn't lost on me. I'm giving myself, or being taken. The lines are too blurred to tell. And then I see him. Alessio stands at the altar in a black suit that should be illegal. His dark hair is perfectly styled, his expression unreadable, but his eyes, God, his eyes burn as they track my approach. He's nervous. The realization hits me like a physical blow. Alessio Rossi, the man who controls everything, who never shows weakness, is nervous about me. The power of that knowledge makes me stand straighter, walk with more confidence. I affect him. I undo him. When I reach the altar, my mother kisses my cheek and places my hand in his. The moment our skin connects, that electric current sparks to life. His fingers close around mine, possessive, claiming, and I see his throat work as he swallows. You're beautiful, he says quietly. And it's the first compliment he's ever given me. It shouldn't matter. It does. You're terrifying, I reply, equally quiet. His smile is small, genuine. I know. The ceremony passes in a haze. I hear the priest's words, feel Alessio's thumb drawing circles on my hand, taste the surreal nature of promising forever to a man I barely know and somehow know completely. Do you, Gemma Marie Bennett, take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband? No. Yes. I don't know. I do, I hear myself say. And do you, Alessio Dante Rossi, take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife? I do. No hesitation, absolute certainty, of course. You may kiss the bride. Alessio's hand comes up, cupping my face with a tenderness that steals my breath. His eyes search mine, asking a question I don't know how to answer. Then he leans in, and his lips meet mine. It's nothing like the kiss in the library. That was passion and hunger and desperation. This is sacred, reverent, a promise sealed with a touch that makes my toes curl and my heart stutter. When he pulls back, his thumb traces my lower lip, and he whispers so only I can hear, "Mine." His? God help me, I am. The reception is endless. I smile at strangers. Accept congratulations from people who look at me with either pity or envy. Dance with Alessio under crystal chandeliers while his hand burns at the small of my back. "You're doing well," he murmurs as we sway to music I don't hear. "I'm playing a part. Are you?" His hand slides lower, dangerously close to inappropriate. "Or are you exactly where you want to be?" I hate that he might be right. "When does this end?" I ask instead of answering. "Soon." His breath is warm against my ear. "And then, wife, you're mine for the rest of the night." The promise in those words makes heat pool low in my belly. Wife, I'm his wife. The reality of it crashes over me, and suddenly I need air, space, distance from him and his overwhelming presence. "I need the restroom," I say, pulling away. He releases me reluctantly. 5 minutes, any longer, and I'm coming to find you. Of course he is. I escape to the bathroom, a lavish affair with marble and gold, and lock myself in a stall, pressing my forehead against the cool door. What am I doing? What have I done? I'm married to Alessio Rossi. In a few hours we'll be alone, and he'll expect... What? What will he expect? The thought sends my pulse racing for reasons that have nothing to do with fear. I'm splashing water on my face when I hear voices in the hallway outside. 2 men talking in low, urgent tones. Insane. Marrying the maid's daughter? It's strategy. Has to be. The Morellis were pushing their niece. This neutralizes them. Strategy. I freeze. But why her? She's nobody. Exactly. She's controllable, disposable. Once the Morelli threat is handled, he can quietly annul it or arrange an accident. Either way, it's temporary. No, that's not. You think he'd actually... I've known Alessio for 15 years. The man doesn't do anything without calculation. This is a power play, nothing more. That girl is a pawn. Their voices fade as they walk away, but the damage is done. Temporary, disposable. A pawn. I stare at my reflection, the beautiful dress, the careful makeup, the face of a woman who thought maybe, just maybe, this insane situation could be real. I'm so stupid. Of course it's strategy. Of course it's about the Morellis. What did I think? That his 20-year obsession was real? That the journals, the watching, the claiming were about love? He's a Mafia don. Love isn't in his vocabulary. The tears come hot and fast, and I press my hands over my mouth to muffle the sobs. Every touch was a lie. Every word, manipulation. I let him make me believe. "Gemma?" His voice outside the door makes me flinch. "I'm fine," I call, and my voice only shakes a little. Just needed a moment. Silence. Then, "Open the door." I said I'm fine, and I said open the door. His tone shifts, becoming that implacable command I'm learning to recognize. "Now, Gemma." "No." I unlock the door and yank it open, and the fury on my face must surprise him because he actually steps back. "What's wrong?" he asks immediately, his eyes scanning me for injury, for threat. Always the protector. Such a good act. "Nothing," I lie. "Everything's perfect. Your strategy is working beautifully." Something flickers in his expression. "What are you talking about?" "The Morellis must be so upset," I continue, my voice dripping with false cheer. "Marrying the nobody maid's daughter instead of their precious niece. Such a clever power play." His face goes very still. "Who did you talk to?" "Does it matter?" I laugh, and it sounds unhinged even to my ears. "They're right, aren't they? This was never about me. Never about whatever sick obsession you convinced me was real. It's about control, about neutralizing threats and consolidating power, and I'm just the disposable pawn you used to do it. That's not..." "Don't." I hold up a hand. "Don't lie to me. Not anymore. I can't do this." I push past him, but his hand shoots out, catching my wrist. "Where are you going?" "Away from you." I yank against his grip, but it's iron. "Let me go." "No." His jaw is tight. "Not until you listen." "Listen to what? More lies? More manipulation?" My voice breaks. "God, I actually started to believe you. I thought maybe this was real. That you actually..." I can't finish. Can't say the words, that you actually wanted me, that this meant something. Gemma. His other hand comes up, trying to cut my face. But I wrench away. Don't touch me. The words land like a slap. I see the flinch, quickly masked, but there. I need to explain. No! I finally break free of his grip. You don't get to explain. You don't get to make this okay with pretty words and possessive touches. I'm done. You're my wife. The statement hangs in the air, brutal and absolute. On paper, I spit. But you'll never have me, not really, not the way you want. I turn and run. Behind me, I hear him call my name, but I don't stop. Can't stop. I run through the corridors of the estate, past startled staff, past lingering wedding guests, until I reach the only place I know I'll be alone. The greenhouse. It's dark inside, the glass walls reflecting the moonlight. I collapse onto a bench among the roses, the same roses I fell into as a child. The same ones he documented in his journal, and let myself break. How could I be so stupid? How could I let him in? The worst part is the betrayal doesn't just hurt because he lied. It hurts because somewhere in the last 3 days, I started to feel something. Started to imagine what it would be like to be cherished by a man like him. Started to believe the intensity in his gaze meant something beyond strategy. I wanted it to be real. That's the confession that destroys me. Not that he lied, but that I wanted the lie. I don't know how long I sit there, crying in the dark, before I hear footsteps. Leave me alone, I say, without looking up. I can't do that. His voice is rough, strained. Watch me make you. Gemma, please. Please? I finally look up, and the sight of him stops my heart. He's disheveled, tie gone, shirt partially unbuttoned, hair messed like he's been running his hands through it. He looks wrecked. Please what, Alessio? Please believe your lies? Please play my part like a good little pawn? You're not a pawn. He moves closer, and I see it now, the barely controlled emotion in his eyes. You've never been a pawn. Then what am I? I stand, facing him. What am I to you really? Not the story you sold me, not the obsession, the truth. He's silent for a long moment, and I see him warring with himself. Finally, he speaks. You're right. The marriage was strategy. The Morellis were closing in, demanding an alliance through marriage. I needed to neutralize the threat. Each word is a knife. But here's what those men didn't know, he continues, his voice dropping. I've been planning this marriage since you were 18. I've been waiting for an excuse, any excuse, to make you mine. The Morellis gave me that excuse. Your boyfriend gave me the urgency. But make no mistake, Gemma. I would have found a way regardless. I want to believe him. God, I want to. How do I know that's not just another manipulation? You don't. He takes another step closer. You'll have to decide if you trust me. Trust you? I laugh bitterly. You've done nothing but lie and manipulate. I've never lied to you. His voice is hard now. Not once. I told you I've been watching you. I told you I'm obsessed. I told you you're mine. Every word was truth. The only lie is the one those men told you, that you don't matter, that you're disposable. His hand comes up, and this time I let him touch me. Let him cup my face with a gentleness that contradicts everything I think I know about him. You are not disposable, Gemma. You are the only thing in this world I cannot calculate or control. The only thing I've ever wanted that I can't take by force. And yes, I use strategy to trap you, to force this marriage. Because I'm a bastard who doesn't know how to want something without claiming it. His forehead drops to mine, and I feel him shaking. But I swear to you, he whispers. Every moment we've had has been real. Every touch, every word. The only lie was letting you believe you had a choice. Because I decided you were mine 20 years ago, and I've been waiting ever since. That's not love, I breathe. No, he agrees. It's not. It's worse. It's need. It's obsession. It's the kind of thing that destroys men. And I'm letting it destroy me for you. The confession breaks something in me, or maybe it breaks something in us both. I don't know if I can do this, I whisper. I don't know if I'm strong enough for what you are. You are. His thumb traces my cheekbone, catching a tear. You've already survived me. Everything else is easy. Nothing about you is easy. I know. His smile is small, sad. But you're here anyway. I am. I'm here, in his arms, in his world, in his life. Despite everything, despite the lies and the manipulation and the fear, I'm here because some part of me wants to be. 3 weeks, I say finally. You've given me 3 days of marriage. Give me 3 weeks of truth. No more games. No more manipulation. Let me see who you really are. And then I'll decide if I stay. It's a gamble, a test. And I see the moment he understands that. 3 weeks, he agrees. And Gemma? What? I'm going to make you fall in love with me. It should sound arrogant. Instead, it sounds like a vow. You can try, I whisper. His smile is dark, promising. Oh, wife, I always succeed. Then he's kissing me, deep and claiming and desperate. And I'm kissing him back because I'm weak and strong and confused and certain all at once. This is madness. This is danger. This is mine. The 3 weeks that follow are a study in contradictions. Alessio keeps his word. No games, no manipulation, just him. And somehow, that's more terrifying than anything else. He shows me the parts of his world I've never seen. The meetings where he brokers peace with a look. The charities he funds anonymously. The way he protects the people under his command, with a ruthlessness that should appall me but doesn't. But it's the small moments that undo me. The way he brings me coffee every morning, black, 2 sugars, without being asked. The books that appear on my nightstand, always the exact genre I'm craving. The night I wake from a nightmare about my father leaving, and find Alessio sitting in a chair beside the bed, watching over me. How long have you been there? I whisper. Since the thunder started. His voice is quiet. You were afraid. I couldn't leave you alone with it. He remembered. Of course he did. Alessio forgets nothing. You don't have to do that, I say, but my voice wavers. I know. He stands, moves to the bed, sits on the edge. But I want to. His hand finds mine in the dark, and I let him hold it. We still haven't consummated the marriage. He hasn't pushed, hasn't demanded. But the tension builds with every accidental touch, every heated look, every moment we're alone together. It's a slow burn that's consuming us both. Week 2 brings a shift. I start to see the man beneath the monster. The way he listens when I talk, really listens, like every word matters. The rare smiles he gives me, small and genuine. The nights he works late in his study and I bring him dinner and he pulls me onto his lap while he finishes paperwork, one hand absently stroking my hip while he reads. You don't have to stay, he murmurs one of those nights. I know. I settle more comfortably against his chest. But I want to. I feel his smile against my hair. It's in these moments I realize the truth. I'm falling, not because he's changed, but because I'm finally seeing what was always there beneath the silence and the control. Devotion. The man is utterly, completely devoted to me. It shows in 1,000 small ways. The security detail that follows me everywhere, not to cage me, but to protect me. The way he rearranges his schedule to eat breakfast with me. The night I mentioned missing a specific pastry from a bakery near my university, and it appears the next morning, still warm. You flew someone to get this, I accuse, staring at the pastry. No. He sips his coffee, unrepentant. I had the baker flown here to make it fresh. Insane, romantic, both. You're ridiculous, I say, but I'm smiling. You're worth it. He says it simply, like it's fact. And maybe it is. Week 3 is when everything changes. I'm in the garden, reading, when Alessio's head of security approaches. Mrs. Rossi, his face is grim. We need to get you inside, now, Mrs. Rossi. The name still feels foreign, but the urgency in his voice is unmistakable. What's wrong? The Morellis, they're making a move, it's not safe. The first gunshot cuts off his words. Everything happens in fragments after that. The security guard pushing me behind a hedge. More gunshots. Close and terrifyingly real. Shouting, the guard's radio crackling with urgent Italian I don't understand. And then a voice I do understand. Where is she? Alessio. I've never heard him sound like that. Raw, desperate, barely controlled violence wrapped around 2 words. Where the fuck is my wife? Here, the guard shouts. Sir, she's here. Alessio appears through the hedge like an avenging angel. His shirt is splattered with blood. Not his, I somehow know, and there's a gun in his hand. But his eyes, when they find me, go soft with relief so profound it steals my breath. Gemma. He's kneeling in front of me, hands running over my arms, my face checking for injury. Are you hurt? Did they touch you? I'm fine, I manage, but I'm shaking. What's happening? The Morellis sent a team. His voice is cold, controlled again, but his hands are gentle as they cup my face. It's handled. Handled. Such a clinical word for what I suspect is carnage. How many, I whisper. Enough. He pulls me to my feet, keeping me tucked against his side. We need to get you inside, now. But I dig my heels in, stopping him. Alessio. I turn to face him fully, and I see it now, the fear he's trying to hide, the barely leashed violence, the trembling in his hands that he's fighting to control. You're shaking. They tried to take you, his voice cracks, actually cracks. They were going to take you from me. Oh, this is what he looks like when the control breaks. When the calculated Don becomes just a man who's terrified of losing what he loves. What he loves. The realization hits me like lightning. But they didn't, I say softly, my hands finding his face. I'm here. I'm safe. Because of luck. His forehead drops to mine. Because Marco got to you first. If he hadn't, if they'd succeeded. But they didn't. I make him look at me. Alessio, I'm here. I can't lose you. The words are torn from him. I've spent 20 years waiting for you, watching you, needing you. I can't, Gemma. I can't survive losing you. It's the most honest he's ever been. No calculation. No control. Just raw, devastating truth. And in that moment, I make my choice. You won't, I promise. You won't lose me. His eyes search mine, desperate, hoping. 3 weeks are up tomorrow. I know. Are you staying? Such a simple question, such a complicated answer. But maybe it's not complicated at all. Yes, I breathe. I'm staying. I'm yours. I choose this. I choose you. The sound he makes is relief and victory and need all wrapped into one. His mouth crashes onto mine. And this kiss is different from all the others. It's a claiming, yes. But it's also surrender. On both sides. Inside, he growls against my lips. Now. Yes. We barely make it to the bedroom. His hands are everywhere, in my hair, on my waist, sliding under my shirt. I'm pulling at his blood-stained clothes, desperate to feel skin against skin. Gemma, he breathes, my name a prayer and a curse. If we do this, if we start, I won't be able to stop. Good, I gasp, as his mouth finds my neck. Don't stop. He backs me up until my knees hit the bed, and I fall, pulling him down with me. The mattress is soft, but he's not. He's all hard lines and coiled power as he covers me, his weight a terrifying, exquisite comfort. His shirt goes first. One moment my fingers are fumbling with the buttons, the next he's yanking it over his head, muscles and old scars catching the low light. I can't help it. I reach out, trace the lines of his chest with shaking fingers. He shudders like I've shot him. You're allowed to touch, he rasps. You're allowed to take whatever you want from me. My dress follows, sliding over my head in a whisper of fabric, until I'm in nothing but lace and nerves. His gaze darkens, that controlled hunger flaring into something borderline feral. Bellissima, he murmurs. So fucking beautiful. Then his mouth is on mine again, and there's no space left for thought. His hands roam over my ribs, my waist, the curve of my hip. Always careful, always checking, even when his control is fraying. When his fingers slip under the edge of my panties and find slick heat, my back arches off the bed with a broken sound I don't recognize as mine. That's it, he growls against my throat. Let me hear you, let me hear what I do to you. He works me with ruthless patience, drawing pleasure out of me in slow, relentless waves until I'm shaking, clawing at his shoulders, begging without words. When I finally shatter, it's with his name on my lips and his forehead pressed to mine, like he can hold me together while I come apart. It would be so easy to let it keep going, to let him strip away the last barrier between us, to let him push inside and finish what he started. I can feel how badly he wants it, the hard length of him pressed against my thigh, the ragged edge to his breathing, and then he stops. He braces his hands on either side of my head, muscles trembling with restraint, eyes squeezed shut like he's in pain. Why are you stopping? I whisper, still trying to drag in air. Alessio. Because if I go any further, he says, voice shredded, I won't be able to pretend I can ever let you go. And right now, you still think you have a choice. I don't. We both know I don't. But something in me understands what he's saying anyway. Slowly, carefully, he eases back down beside me, pulling the sheet over my body like I'm something precious. Sleep, he murmurs, pressing a kiss to my temple instead of my mouth. You're safe. No one touches you. Not the Morellis, not fate, not even me. Not until you're ready to be mine in every way. But we still haven't crossed that final line. He's brought me to the edge of everything, but stopped just short of full consummation. And somehow, that restraint makes it even more powerful. Why, I whisper when I can finally speak. Why did you stop? His hand finds mine, threading our fingers together. Because, he says quietly, I want our first time, truly together, to be when you're completely mine. No doubts, no fears, just us. I am yours, I protest. Not quite. He presses a kiss to my temple. There's still a piece of you holding back. I can feel it. And when that piece surrenders, when you give me everything, no reservations, then I'll give you all of me. He's right. Damn him, he's right. There's still a part of me that's afraid, that doesn't quite believe this is real. How do you always know? I whisper. Because I've been studying you for 20 years, Tesoro. His smile is soft. I know you better than you know yourself. He probably does. The Morellis, I say suddenly, remembering. What happens now? His expression hardens. They made their move. They failed. And now they'll learn what happens when someone tries to take what's mine. Violence, retribution. I should be horrified. Instead, I feel protected. Will it be war? No, his voice is certain. It will be annihilation. Quick, clean, final. And us? Us? He pulls me closer, tucking me against his chest. We'll be here, together, building the life I've been planning since you were 8 years old. That's still creepy, you know. His laugh rumbles through me. I know, but you love me anyway. I freeze. Love. Do I love him? This dark, obsessive, impossible man who's consumed my entire world. I start, but he puts a finger over my lips. Don't say it yet, he murmurs. Not until you mean it with every part of you. When you're ready, when that last piece surrenders, I'll hear it. And then, Gemma? Then I'll never let you go. As if he'd let me go anyway. But I understand what he means. There's a difference between staying because you have to, and staying because you choose to. Between being claimed and claiming him back. I'm not there yet, but I will be. Soon. 3 days later, the Morelli family is destroyed. I don't ask for details. Don't want them. All I know is that one morning, Alessio comes to breakfast with a satisfied smile and a newspaper that reports a tragic accident involving the entire Morelli leadership. It's done, is all he says. And I know, we're safe. I'm safe. That night, I find him in his study, staring out the window at the garden. Alessio? He turns, and the look on his face, tired, vulnerable, makes my heart clench. Come here, I say softly. He does, and I pull him down onto the couch, settling into his lap like I've done 100 times now. His arms come around me automatically, holding me like I'm precious. Are you okay? I ask. I killed for you today. His voice is flat. Ended an entire bloodline because they threatened what's mine. And I'd do it again. I'd do it 1,000 times. Does that make me a monster? Yes. No. Both. It makes you mine, I say finally. My monster, my protector, my husband, my love. The thought whispers through me, and I realize with startling clarity that it's true. I love him. This dark, broken, obsessive man. I love him with a completeness that terrifies me, and he knows. I see it in his eyes, the way they widen, the way his breath catches. Gemma, he breathes. I love you. The words fall from my lips, honest and irrevocable. I love you, Alessio. All of you, the darkness and the devotion and the obsession. I choose it. I choose you. For a moment, he's absolutely still. Then he's kissing me, deep and desperate and reverent, and I'm kissing him back, pouring everything I feel into it. Say it again, he demands against my lips. I love you. Again. I love you. I frame his face with my hands. I'm yours, completely, no doubts. No fears, just us. The sound he makes is pure relief, pure joy. Ti amo, he breathes. I love you. Mio cuore, my heart. Mia vita, my life. You are everything, everything I've ever wanted, everything I'll ever need. Then take me, I whisper, all of me, now. And this time, when he carries me to bed, there's no hesitation, no holding back. This time, we give each other everything. Later, hours later, I lie in his arms, completely spent and utterly satisfied. I have something for you, he murmurs, reaching for the nightstand. He pulls out a small velvet box, and inside is a key. What's this? The estate. His fingers trace patterns on my bare shoulder. It's yours now, fully. Everything I have, everything I am, it's yours. Alessio. I rewrote my will today, he continues quietly. If something happens to me, it all goes to you. The business, the properties, the power. You won't just be my widow. You'll be the head of this family. The trust in that gesture takes my breath away. Nothing's going to happen to you, I say fiercely. No, he agrees. Because I have you, and you make me invincible. I curl closer to him, feeling his heart beat steady and strong beneath my ear. You know what I realized, I murmur. What? I was his captive. I trace the scar on his chest, a story he'll tell me someday. I became his obsession, but now? I tilt my head up to meet his dark eyes. Now I'm his equal, and this dark, bloody world? It's finally, completely, my home. His smile is slow, satisfied, victorious. Welcome home, Mrs. Rossi, Mrs. Rossi. His wife, his equal, his love. I was invisible for 20 years. Then he saw me, and I'll never be invisible again.